right, guys, I'm going to do a Pomeranian draft here on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have an account yet, use promo code Smizzle and get a $100 deposit bonus when you sign up for the site. Real easy to do. Doesn't take nothing. You might as well claim the free $100. I got the number 1 pick. Let's see how we do. Let's go.
He's a legend.
The Influencer 1.01. So I think running back, so I talked about this on the My Perfect Draft video, talked about this on the Optimal video. I think running back is important in the first round right now, especially from early in the first round, based on the way that the rest of your draft is going to shake out. Whether you're going to go bell cow and chill, whether you're going to go with what I like, which is like 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds, I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey because I like to live dangerously. And I think that he's the best player on the board. CMC, easy clap. Exactly. Jonathan Taylor right behind it. OMG. I love Justin Jefferson. I love Cooper Kupp. I think Jamar Chase is amazing. But based on current ADPs, not just in the first 10 rounds, but like beyond, like the last 10 rounds, when we were drafting in June and July, and even in the first half of August, we were getting players at the back half of drafts. Zamir White, Brian Robinson Jr., who else? Everybody. Damian Pierce. You were getting Ramondre Stevenson at 130. You were getting all these running backs to fill out your teams with, from like running back 3 through 6, or however many you want to draft, whether you draft 4, 5, or 6. You were getting quality players with big time upside at the back ends of drafts, and like you're not getting those anymore. And the middle round guys are going at ADPs that are very awkward if you have a top 5 ADP. So I'm advocating in the top 5. Like I'm kind of eschewing at 4 and 5, is even though I think that these are the top 5, unquestioned. I kind of am leaning more to Eckler here at 5, like 6, 7, 8. I'm leaning more to Cook, then Henry behind him. Like unless Kupp or Jefferson or Chase really fall to me here at the back end of the first round, I know that this second tier looks a lot the same. Like I want to get a running back. Even the guys that we were getting from the 1 pick, if you picked 1, 2, 3, we were getting Saquon Barkley and Leonard Fournette and a lot of other and Ezekiel Elliott in the 5th earlier in draft season. That's just not the case anymore. So go check out that video that I did on, there's 2. 1, my optimal draft strategy here on the Fantasy Football channel. And see, look, Saquon Barkley in the first round now. We were getting him at 27. Like what a value he's been for us all season long. He's just not anymore. This is why we draft early, right? But like the running backs are going to dry up really fast here in the middle, and you're not going to be able to get that second premium running back around 23, 26 as often, 22 to 27 as often if you have a top 3 pick, which is why I'm kind of advocating a little bit more for a running back in the first half of the first round than I was earlier in draft season, when I could just go get, I could take Cooper Kupp at 2 and then get like Leonard Fournette and Saquon down in here and be totally fine with it. And that's a really tough lineup from a draft perspective, from a high floor, high ceiling, getting all the inside the 5 carries, loads of usage in the passing game for those guys. Those lineups just aren't around anymore. They just don't happen. How much do I change my draft strategy when drafting in a best ball league? You got to win the league versus top 3 from a tournament best ball team. So a sit and go versus a tournament. Yeah, sit and goes, you're drafting more for value. I'm more concerned with ADP than I am with stacks, right? I'm more concerned with locking up as much value as I can, as opposed to full-on roster construction with an eye towards the playoff weeks and correlating possibly around the playoff weeks. Mark Andrews kind of been here all season. Deebo Samuel, I don't have very much Deebo. I'm lower on Deebo this year than I was last year. Fantastic player. It's never about the player with me. I don't hate the player. I hate the ADP. Just is what it is. They're definitely going to take one of my guys here. OMG is 100% take me. Yeah, Mike Evans. I wanted Evans and Fournette here. I am not going to get Evans and Fournette here. I am going to take Leonard Fournette. As I said, I do like getting on Underdog or on DraftKings 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds, because I think that there's a lot more upside with wide receivers a little bit later. Christian McCaffrey lines up well with him if he can stay healthy. This is the interesting one. I'm going to go with T. Higgins in this spot. I'm going to go with him over A.J. Brown. I like DJ Moore, but I don't really feel like building a Carolina stack. I think that offense is going to be a little bit better this year than before. Wear code Smizzle or smizzle.tv/underdog will take you right there. You get that $100 deposit bonus, $100 deposit bonus on your first time deposit. Michael Pittman now going at like 28. I've said this all off season. Like the player, think he might have a big year, but like I don't want to pay 28 for him with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Jalen Waddle, Mike. I don't value him over those players. I just don't, you know, I don't see him as a value over those guys. So our key here was to get those 2 running backs in the first 5 rounds. That's plan A. We've nailed that. Now somebody might be around when we pick again, right? At the sandwich picks at 48, 49. But a lot of the players that were here, this is where I was getting Ezekiel Elliott before. He's no longer going there. Ezekiel Elliott's now going in this range. I think the Travis Etienne is going too high. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back to back. Cortland Sutton at 33. I'd probably rather have Cortland Sutton than Michael Pittman. I think he's more of a 1-to-1. DJ Moore, everybody's scared of the team, but like DJ Moore is a monster. One of these years, DJ Moore is going to score 12 touchdowns, and you're going to say, I have all his records. Too early for Josh Allen with no Diggs. I'm probably not going to go attack Josh Allen unless I have Diggs. I think Diggs takes a big step forward in terms of variance here in 2022 versus, I think he gets the same amount of volume that he got last year. Okay. I think it's the same type of volume that he got last year in terms of red zone, end zone, in a really high volume offense, passing offense. Allen Robinson at 37. That's high. Has he flown up? That's like 10 picks ahead of ADP. Mixon, Harris, Connor, then went with Robinson. Obviously wanted Robinson, but knew he wasn't going to come back to him. Travis Etienne at 38. I still think that's, I don't know. I'm going to look really good or I'm going to look really bad for not having any Travis Etienne in the first half of round 4 in drafts. 4 or 5 turn. Yeah, like he wasn't, it's one of those players, like I like him better that if I'm the drafter in the 12 hole, he's like, you know what? I think Allen Robinson is better than any of these wide receivers that I'm going to take over him that are ahead of him on ADP, and he will not be back to me at pick 60 or 61. In those situations, A, I understand it, and B, I don't think it's wrong, you know, specifically in tournaments. Get your guys in tournaments. I'm not saying reach by 3 rounds to get your guys in tournaments, but get your guys. There's never anything wrong with that. Jerry Jeudy going right around where he goes. Jalen Waddle at 42. He's fallen. He's fallen like far. Deontay Johnson, always open Deontay Johnson. The Steelers pass catching group at this point, I think is somewhat set. There's Ezekiel Elliott at 44. Said he was not going to be back around to me at 48. Let's see who's here. J.K. Dobbins is. I think that J.K. Dobbins deserves to go around where Zeke is going now. I think he should be a middle 4th round pick, but he's not. A little bit of everything on the table right now, right? You see the different colors. Dobbins, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, quarterbacks, all on the menu here at this point in the draft. Juju Smith-Schuster going a few ahead of ADP. I think this might be a tell, right? I could see this player going with Patrick Mahomes in the next round, kind of setting up that pick, right? It kind of triggers that you're going to go for that guy in that spot. Stop taking the guys I want. That's 2 in a row. I wanted Mike Evans the round before, and I wanted Darren Waller in this spot. I don't like you at all right now. We're not friends. I am going to go with Godwin, though, and I'm going to go with Kittle. I do want to get one of the elite tight ends, and I have George Kittle as one of those 5 elite tight ends that I believe are in the league. I prefer Waller to Kittle, but they're not all that dissimilar. It's not like some big gap between one and the other. So he didn't go. I kind of thought that he was going to go Mahomes there. He did not do that. I thought that's where we were going. We didn't go there. Oh, wow. Someone gifted me a sub a couple days ago. I hadn't noticed. Thank you. Your boy, Mike. Thank you for saying thank you. I appreciate it when people, our community gifts a lot of subs here on Twitch. And I like it when people that notice that they got a gifted sub come into the chat and say thank you. So thank you for saying thank you. If you guys are watching this draft on YouTube, hi, YouTube. If you're watching here on YouTube and you're still watching at this point of the draft, drop a like on the video. I would greatly appreciate it. Boop the snoot on that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and do me a favor and ring the notifications bell so it'll pop up there in your notifications every time that I come out with a new video here on the Fantasy Football channel. It does mean a lot and it does help the channel a ton. So thank you guys so much for being here and enjoy the rest of the video. Chat said hi. They all said hi. Let's recap this round. Michael Thomas at 57 now just came down with a brand new hamstring injury. He's out for 2 more years. He's not. That's not news. He's not. That's just me making a joke. I'm all about the jokes here. But he did just end up like Roto World or NBC Sports, whatever the hell they're called these days, reported that he got a new hamstring injury. Awesome. Hi, future me watching on YouTube. Oh, you got a rare Rainmakers card to him? Nice. I hope he plays. Kyler Murray at 5'12". So I got to knock wood before I say this, but Every year for the past 5 years, there's been multiple big injuries at this point. We're through 2 weeks of training camp. Elijah Moore at 63. Everybody's going so early. Pomeranian draft just hits Brandon Ayuk 20 spots ahead of ADP. What's going on? There goes Patty Mahomes, like 10 spots below ADP. What's happening here? This guy is going with the serious 0 RB draft. Not one. I don't hate 0 RB drafts. I just think that they're somewhat difficult at this point in draft season because of how much all of those running backs that you could get from 120 to 200 are now going from 80 to 120. So like, it's going to be hard once you get to the end of drafts to fill in with value running backs with upside. They're just not there anymore. They've moved up hard. They've moved up a lot. So I have a couple paths that I want to go. Hopefully OMG doesn't snipe me for literally every player on my list, but I have an idea of where I want to go. Wide receivers left available. Tight ends, we locked up one of the studs. Running backs available right now. Mitchell, Jacobs, Sanders, Elaire. Ramondre has seen a lot of move up. Trey Lance, Burrow, Brady, Wilson, Prescott, Stafford. He went Mitchell. Yes. He did not snipe me, finally. All right, I'm going a little off the reservation in this spot. Maybe. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to take Kadarius Toney. Let's build out these wideouts. I'm going to take Christian Kirk. A little bit ahead of ADP, but I don't think he's going to make it back to me. And I think that Christian Kirk's ADP is going to slide up this week for a couple of reasons. Two reasons, actually. One reason he's going to slide up is because he's had a good preseason. I think that people are going to start to come around that they don't have enough Trevor Lawrence and that Christian Kirk was paid an awful lot of money to be his alpha, and they're going to feed him the ball. He basically is going to be the largest target getter on this Jacksonville offense from a very pedigreed quarterback that many are predicting is going to have a massive step forward in year 2 in a less dysfunctional quarterback room, coaching situation, whatever. And though Kirk does not profile as an absolute alpha, if they run him in the slot a lot and get him just an absolute metric ton of targets, and his quarterback can throw something like 25 to 33 touchdowns, not something outrageous, right? There goes Trey Lance right around ADP at 76. I think that there's upside for that Jacksonville offense. My wide receiver room looking a little bit better now with Higgins and Godwin and Toney and Kirk. I like my running backs with McCaffrey and Fournette, and I like George Kittle. I would have preferred Darren Waller there, but like, it's not like all is lost with Kittle. I just wanted Waller for this lineup. So disappointing I got sniped, but like, as you can see, A, it didn't kill the lineup, and B, it's set up right along my optimal draft style. This is kind of what I want to end up with, right? This is the build that I like. I have my first 7 picks. I want to leave the first 8 rounds, right, with 4 wide receivers optimally, 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds, and I want to get one of the top 5 tight ends. So like, mission accomplished, right? I'm standing on the deck of that Air Force carrier at the dais, at the podium, mission accomplished behind us. So now we've got to see how I can finish off this this palm draft. You know that OMG is going to snipe me. You know OMG is going to snipe who I want. It's just I'm waiting for it to happen. There's 2 guys that I want to end up with at this pick when I get my double. I want one of the 2 players. I'll let you know who they were when it gets to my pick, because we're doing this live, and like, you know, sometimes people will recognize my name in the draft and they'll say, oh, he's live on Twitch. Let me go live. Let me watch a thing because he's probably streaming live, and then I get stream sniped. So to avoid getting stream sniped, there are 2 players that I want at this pick. That's why I never put players in the queue when I'm drafting live as well. Here's how the draft is going. After I took Kirk, Devontae Smith, really like Devontae Smith. Amari Cooper, I think, needs to be massively downgraded. Trey Lance, going right around where he goes, being drafted as the QB7 right now, and has upside to be the QB1 overall. Not unlike Jalen Hurts was the QB1 through like 10 weeks last season, right? Like, any running QB, any Konami code QB has that type of upside. Russ Wilson going here. He's paired him with Cortland Sutton from before, the 0 RB team. Still has 0 RBs. Is he going to stay on 0? But no, he finally has an RB. Chase Edmonds is his RB1. Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Hopkins at 78, going to miss the first 6 weeks and then miss another week because their bye week is after the suspension. So you're going to have 7 less weeks of him than anybody else. Sky Moore at 89 does have Patrick Mahomes. So a little bit of correlation there for that team. Dak Prescott did not get anybody to go with him. Joe Burrow does not have anybody to go with him. MVS, Tyler Lockett. CSU Ram. Oh, he's in. Just nabbed the Pittman Rainmaker. What, like the Rainmaker tier 1? I didn't know that Pete was in on Rain. Quite a development. If you have not checked out the Rainmakers video, it's on the main channel. I've got a bunch of videos on that channel. During the season, there will be a review preview Rainmakers video that's going to exist here on this channel. I think it's going to come out every Tuesday. And then we have plenty of stuff over at the HQ. Type smizzle.tv/HQ. It's a token locked part of our Discord where all of my investment advice about how to go about attacking the Rainmakers game, if you're playing that new game on DraftKings, all exists there. If you are a channel member to the main channel or a subscriber on Twitch, you get access to all the sub rooms on our Discord. So smizzle.tv/Discord. Damian Pierce. Remember I said they moved up? Damian Pierce is now in the top 100, 93rd overall. This is somebody we were getting at pick 140 all summer. He has moved up to the top 90. I knew he was going to snipe him. That's 3. I wanted one of Joe Burrow or Tom Brady at this pick. I'm furious. I'm absolutely furious. That's just hot garbage at this point. I wanted Waller because I could get Carr. I wanted him so I could get Brady. I'm furious right now. This sucks. Chase Claypool now is playing in the slot, it looks like, with Deontay Johnson and the rookie slated to play outside. I'm so mad right now. That's 3 times he's taken the exact one player that I want, one in front of me. Now, granted, it's not like it's out of the blue. He's got Mike Evans, but like, give me a break. Stop sniping literally everybody. I don't like anything here. I'll take Miles Sanders. Absolutely tilted. Absolutely tilted. So the one thing I was not able to accomplish in this draft, I said the round before that I might go a little bit off the reservation when I drafted Kirk and Tony. I was going to eschew Tony, but I felt there was too good of a value to pass up at that spot. So I was going to go with I was going to go with Christian Kirk there because I need to get more shares of Kirk and that Jacksonville passing game, and then take probably Tom Brady in this spot. Now that he's back from the Bahamas, because his supermodel wife has told him that you're not spending enough time with the kids. You said you were retiring, now you're not. You need to, this is ridiculous. You need to spend time with our kids. Tom Brady was like, them kids. I can't believe I got sniped 3 times. I cannot believe I got sniped for the exact guy I wanted 3 times. I smiled at him. I winked at him 2 times. Ridiculous. So now I'm going to have to make some things happen on the back end. Other than that, I like the team. I want to get an elite quarterback. Unfortunately, there are no elite quarterbacks left. Devin Singletary is still going at 105. He is the one value running back that has not moved. By comparison, Ramondre is now going on average in like the 80s. Here he is at 82 in this draft, while, you know, Devin Singletary is still at 105. He is the remaining value play at running back who has not shot up. James Cook going in front of him is egregious. 3 QB builder never. No, I'm fine with a 3 QB build. If I don't get an elite QB, I do lean more towards going 3 quarterback. Even if I get an elite QB, I'm willing to go 3 quarterback, specifically on DraftKings drafts, as they're 20 rounds long. So I can get 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, 8 wide receivers, right? And still have 6 running backs. Giselle controls half the money and all the romance. Okay, well, first of all, Giselle's got more money than Tom Brady. She controls 70% of the means of production. Her net worth is higher than his. He'd be getting alimony if they split. Not really, but you know what I mean. Tom Brady needs child support. He ain't getting child support. He ain't taking care of them kids. Ever. No comment, Frostbite. Joshua Palmer at 115 has been routinely in the 130s. Had a big game this weekend. Field Yates was tweeting about him. Josh Norris was tweeting about him. Everybody saw what he did this weekend. Now 115. Preseason is drastically affecting ADPs. Antonio Gibson down to 99. Jalen Tolbert at 117. Treylon Burks is falling like a stone. Who are you going to snipe from me now? He has 2 QBs. He drafted Tom Brady as his QB2. At least he's stacking him. At least he's stacking. Not happy. Go with Aaron Rodgers. What's Dobbs ADP? Sorry, Dobbs. He ain't going to be there on the way back. I'll take the Dobbs correlation. The 2-time back-to-back NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers and Romeo Dobbs. In before somebody in the reply says, you know, Aaron Rodgers has not thrown to a rookie wide receiver. Yeah, he also has not had this bad a wide receiver room. And Dobbs looks like he's the real deal. So I didn't get Lazard, but I did get Romeo. Not the elite quarterback that I wanted, but 9 picks behind ADP. Aaron Rodgers out of value. They are going to throw the ball a bit. We'll see if I can get a little double correlation with him a little bit later. Darrell Henderson, I know who I want with this next pick. I know a couple guys who I want at this double. I don't have anything to write on, but I do know who I want. I ain't marking them. I've been sniped too much. Been sniped too much this draft. Robinson was one of them at 129. Remember I said guys that we were drafting in like 180 to 220? He was one of those 180 to 220 guys. He's up to 130 now on ADP. No longer a secret. Now look, OMG went with, chat wants to see OMG's draft real quick, but it's not going to be easy for me to show it to you because as soon as somebody else picks, it's going to bounce. But he has Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady. He does have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. He has Russell Gage and Mike Evans. So like he went with a double elite quarterback double stack. He's got the in and out special. He went for the double. Albert Aquabunum, not having a good preseason. Right? Should you ever try to triple stack in best ball? I'm not against it. It would have to be a high volume passing game. So like I would not be against stacking Herbert with 3 receivers. I would not be against stacking Brady with 3. Like if they are projected to throw, or Allen, if a team is projected to throw the ball 630 times plus, right? Then I'm fine with it. James Robinson has been going in the 150s to 170s, 134. Remember what I said about Alberto is still on the field right now. Yeah, he played a lot of snaps. So here's the late players from the 0 RB team. Edmonds, Singletary, Hines, Robinson. I don't hate it. I would like this a lot better on DraftKings, though. I think it could be an optimal style on DraftKings right now to go get this, stack up with full PPR and bonuses. 0 RB on DraftKings could work better than it has all summer right now if you're drafting on DraftKings. But drafting tournaments on Underdog, a little bit different story. ADPs are separated. There's more paths to the top in half point no bonus than there is in full PPR with bonus. If you're asking me why, it's because you have to draft to the scoring system that you're playing with. Jacoby and Myers got me 2.1 million. Isaiah McKenzie has taken over Crowder. He was a mistake for me earlier in draft. Like I was heavy on Crowder because I want that slot guy. I was drafting a lot of him in this range. And now it looks like Isaiah McKenzie has, with Crowder's injury, Isaiah McKenzie has kind of earned snaps early in the season. So like I'm hoping that Crowder can earn them back. There goes Tua. Isaiah Pacheco. 2 weeks ago, I was getting him in the 18th round in every draft. Now he is in the 140s. None of your lineups look as good as your June lineups. If you were a sharp draft, let's see who OMG snipes for me right here. Let's see if he snipes my guy. He did not snipe my guy, but I think he tried to snipe a different guy. Jesus. Let's go with Trevor Lawrence. That backs that up. I don't know if I need 3 QBs. I can get him later. I'm gonna go with Wandale now. There are 2 players that I want at this next turn. Who did I say? Pacheco? Yeah, Pacheco's the RB2 right now in Kansas City. Do you want me to mark the 2? Do you want me to mark the 2 guys I want in the next round? I'll leave it up to chat. It's on you guys. Chat, do you want me to mark the 2 guys that I want in the next round before we get there? I'll mark them if you want me to. No? You like being surprised. Okay. We'll see if we get them. I know who they are. I can't write them down because I don't have a thing for you, but we'll check on them. I know who they are. I marked them, then I unmarked them. Okay? I marked them and I unmarked them. There's 2 guys. I want them both. Does Gabe Davis play Tarkov? Is that what you're insinuating there, Frost? There are 2 players that I would love to get here in this next round. Nico Collins at 150 has kind of become a staple. Algier at 148. His name is Alexander Madison. Christian Watson, other Green Bay wide receiver. Drafted 2 rounds ahead. Did I not see his cleats from last year? He was wearing Tarkov? Oh, that's right. I forget because like they can't wear the cleats during the game. They can only wear them during like warm-ups. The NFL has like archaic uniform rules. Everybody must look same. Robbie Anderson. I wonder how Robbie Anderson feels about Baker Mayfield right now. Because when the rumor came out earlier in the summer that they may be trading for Baker Mayfield and it was on Instagram, he immediately replied to that with no. He turned into Michael Scott from The Office. Turns around and sees Toby. No, God, please, no. He had 3 TDs that game. Interesting. Now no shoe rules. Look, personality within limits as expressed on your gear is a good thing. Think European soccer with like the neon cleats. It looks neat. The NBA used to have rules that like everybody's shoes had to be the same color. Like if your team wore white shoes at home, everybody in the team's shoes had to be the primary color, had to be white. You weren't allowed to have red or blue or green or black or purple or any of it. No expression whatsoever. The NFL will fine you if your towel is an inch longer than it should be. Like, who cares what cleats they wear? Let them wear, let these players express themselves through their cleats. It brings personality to the game. Again, within limits. Like, you can't have like the Cam Newton ones that had like the slippers, the fuzzy slippers. Nah, not that. But like, if you want to paint a shoe, go ahead, paint the shoe. Look good, feel good, play good. I agree. Austin Hooper at 160. Aggressive. Seems very aggressive. Spiller, I like it, 161. KJ Hamler, big time speed guy, downfield upside. Forced into more snaps, presumably with the injury to Tim Patrick. Not bad at all at 162. He was another guy we're getting around 200. Herbert, love Herbert in Chicago. Love Herbert in Chicago. Different regime, not as tied to David Montgomery. Might see 40% of the snaps and touches at running back, even with a healthy David Montgomery on a team that wants to run the ball a whole lot. And Herbert looked like he was, like he was the guy last year. Like, he looks like that dude who could handle being an RB1. And you have two paths to success there. He either gets those 40% of snaps and produces as like an RB4 for your team, or if David Montgomery goes down for a spell, all of a sudden you have an RB1 on a running back heavy team with some talent to be able to do it. Looks like that dude. Mike Gesicki, how the mighty have fallen. Is that the Tua team? Makes sense. Makes sense. I like it. He's going to snipe my guy. 100% going to snipe one of the two guys. I think they're both available. Totally going to snipe him. Go ahead, snipe my guy. I dare you. Do it again. Snipe my guy. Go ahead, snipe him. Snipe him. He did it! Oh my God, that was the other guy! How do you do this every single round? That's not possible. It was Marvin Jones and Daniel Jones. I was gonna get the Jones boys, and now, how? Chat! I'm never gonna financially recover from this. You have to tell me if you're a cop. He has a good team. Look, he's building a good team. Kudos to him for building a good team. Taylor, Evans, AJ Brown, Waller, Hurts, Elijah Mitchell, Smith, Brady, double stacks for both. Got Russell Gage at a bit of a value as he's fallen to 120. Penny, especially now with the, the appendicitis, whatever the injury that the rookie got, now forced into more. Rashad White, sure, goes with his Tom Brady. Galladay, Osborne. He took my Marvin Jones. Like, bruh! Alex, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the VIP. This is what it's like here all the time. I hate it. Make sure that you get in the Discord, though. ! Discord in the chat. For those of you watching on YouTube and still watching this horror show of a draft for me, down below, if you click show more on the description, there will be a thing for all of my links, whether it's any of my socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube pages. The Best Buys article will be in there. The Listener League link will be in there. Smizzle.tv/links. Right there. Shows you where everything is. One place, one link tree all the time. There's no OnlyFans. For those of you looking for an OnlyFans in my link tree, it's not there. If I did have an OnlyFans, it would be 100% feet pics, but only of my cat. It would be like all cat feet pics. That would be the OnlyFans I would start. Like, you'd only see that, like, the I guess, like, I could tease on Twitter with like the top of the feet, but if you want like the kitty beans on the bottom, like that's all paywalled stuff. The kitty beans are all behind the paywall. Zamir White at 178. I want to see chat just react to what I just said. AJ Green 179. I like Zamir White. I think the Raiders are definitely going to try and utilize everything that they have in the backfield instead of just leaning. Evan Ingram, that was where I kind of wanted to go. I was hoping that Ingram was going to make it back to me at 192. I think that Ingram's going to be really solid this year, guys. I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 tight end, but from a daily fantasy standpoint or a best ball standpoint, I think it's a deployment issue. If you've watched the content that we've put out on this channel, you know that I'm not a fan of the way the Giants have run offense for the last couple of seasons. Like, Evan Ingram was used horribly. He was deployed terribly. This is a guy who has elite route running, pass catching, and athletic skills. Right now, somebody's going to be there, he drops a lot of balls. Not my point. He can abuse linebackers and safeties. And they were giving him the ball on flipping jet sweep handoffs and throwing him in the flat, like just that, like not letting him get into routes, not letting him get into the second level with his routes. Take a linebacker and drag him out into the deep water and try and drown him. They weren't letting him do any of that. But through the preseason, we've seen a route tree that kind of looks like that more from Evan Ingram here in Jacksonville. And I think that he can make some things happen this year and pay off on that fantasy upside that we've been looking for and craving for a couple of seasons where we have not been able to access it. Obviously, I went a little hyper fragile with this lineup. I have 3 running backs at this point. I did not draft the ones in the middle of the draft. I'm going to have to kind of attack some late here. And as I said, it's tough to attack running backs late because of what's remaining, right? A lot of guys go off the board early. So we're going to have to take a couple of gambles at running back, but I believe that I'm strong through 1, 2, and 3 with 3 guys who should get me 250 plus opportunities. Let's say 300 plus opportunities with 250 plus touches, pretty much guaranteed from that trio. And it allows me to take a couple of shots here deep with the guys that I want. On a guy like Jet McKinnon, who looked really good in this offense. I know Pacheco has been sliding up draft boards. He's been really good, but CEH has not been good. And I don't think they're going to lean on one running back in Kansas City. I don't think any one guy is going to be the guy. I think they're going to shuffle him through and cycle him through. McKinnon is right now behind him on the depth chart, behind Pacheco, but he's a professional guy who, when given the job, has been very, very good. Another guy that I want to take a gamble on with upside would be Dearness Johnson. I do think that this Cleveland team is going to run the hell out of the football, especially in the absence for like the first half plus of the season of Deshaun Watson. And I like the talent that Dearness Johnson brings to the table. If they trade Kareem Hunt, it opens up a lot more space for him. I don't think that Nick Chubb is going to carry it 400 times with or without Hunt there. I obviously right now, with both Chubb and Hunt on the roster, need an injury for that, or a trade for that to be the thing. But I think that a trade is somewhat likely for Kareem Hunt, no matter which team it is to, and we'll see if that materializes. If it doesn't, then obviously Johnson requires an injury for him to be effective at this point. But I believe that there is going to be a trade in Cleveland for one of those guys. Michael Corleone meme on Evan Ingram. I was out. They keep pulling me back in. Just when I was out. Don't know if I'm going to be able to find another running back here late. I mean, I might be able to find with one of my next, with my last pick in this draft. I like the tight ends. Kittle and Tunyon. Would have rather have had Ingram in that spot. Went 3 quarterbacks because of the lack of what I feel is an elite level quarterback. I know that Aaron Rodgers himself is an elite quarterback, but it's not an elite fantasy offense right now with the coaching staff leaving, with Devontae Adams leaving. It remains to be seen if Aaron Rodgers has wide receivers that are capable of being on the receiving end of 35 touchdown passes this year. And he could have a 25 touchdown season. So his production from a fantasy standpoint could be a little more. I do have to pick a running back, so I'll just leave it there. A little more up and down than in years past. Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones, 2 guys that I think can take steps forward this season. Love them as QB2s, but I was forced into drafting 3 where the goal was to get Tom Brady or Joe Burrow as the QB1 and then slide in Trevor Lawrence as the QB2. But sometimes life doesn't go according to plan, and your success is going to be dictated by how well you can deal with plan B on the fly. So here we are dealing with plan B. But I don't hate it. I don't hate this. I have a lot of Will Fuller, and now I'm starting to regret having a lot of Will Fuller because I don't know if anyone's going to sign him. I was expecting him to be on a team by the end of week 2 of training camp. By the end of the week 2 games, I thought he'd be on a team, and he's not. And now I kind of wonder if anybody's going to bring him in. And Josh Norris had an interview this week with somebody who's very connected to situations. He's like, the talk around the league is that he's just not the same guy, and that he's not the guy that can get open downfield, that he does not care about playing anymore, that he does not want to be on the field anymore. There's a possibility that as a veteran wide receiver, he just wants to skip training camp and just be like, look, I'm not going. So y'all deal with it, and I'll figure it out later. I'm just not going to go to training camp and deal with all the nonsense and the hard work and everything that's there. I'll work it on my own. I'll be in shape, and then you know where I am, and just go ahead and call me. So there's that. Like, and maybe that's just some copium on my behalf, just hoping that he is still going to be somewhat viable for the amount of allocation that I have on him as my wide receiver 8 in so many drafts. But that's where we're at. I'm waiting for OMG to snipe me in this spot. Here's who we want. Here's who we want. That's who we want. Okay? Watch him snipe us. Here comes the snipe. Prepare yourselves. Be ready for it. He's 100% going to snipe me here. Prepare yourselves for him to snipe my RB6. It's going to happen. Curtis Samuel. Let's see. Who's the other guy that I want? Who's the other guy? There's the other guy that I want. Go ahead. You know you want to take him. You know you want to take him. We all know you're watching. He can't take both. Yeah. Smith thinks in the chat. That's why I marked 2. Devin Duvernay, he did not take him. Okay, I really didn't want Boston Scott. I know that he had him. I have Miles Sanders. My risk relevant is going to be Damian Williams. I think that he's going to get like 25 to 35% of the snaps and touches at running back in Arizona behind Connor. And with Connor's injury history, there is a path to being the RB1 there if an injury does occur. That gives me my RB6. That's the end of the draft. Thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.